he's brought up the famous quote once again. But this time he's put a little spin on it. He says, and I quote, "Nobody from 154 to 168 will go the distance." Stop it, Abel. Come here, bro.
Sit him
Abel.
down, 2K. Sit him down.
Come here, Abel. Come here, bro.
Yeah, man.
You see, Abel, Golovkin had so many motherfuckers riding with him after he knocked out Gregor's Proxa, after he beat the shit out of Gabe Rosado.
Yeah.
Let me go back. A lot of motherfuckers don't even know who Gregor's Proxa is. Those are the real enthusiasts like myself and Sess. We knew that fight. Okay. But after Gabe Rosado, after, what's the nigga name? Ashita, the one that knocked out James Kirkland in the first round.
Ashita or something
Nobuhiro
like
Ashita, Matthew Macklin.
Yep.
After all those guys, niggas was still riding with Golovkin.
Oh, yeah.
When Golovkin said, "I want to unify 160, people were like, "Hell yeah, let's do it, B."
Yeah.
We riding with you. I was one of them. Yeah, I was one of them. But then you, Abel, you had to open your big motherfucking mouth and say, "We will fight anyone from 154 to 168. All right, what's good, YouTube? We back for another segment. I got my man Kashad. We lost him on the last segment, but he's back now. This one's going to be a prediction video and breakdown of the supposed, if you ask Abel Sanchez and Triple G and Eddie Hearn and KELL BROOK, it is a, quote, mega fight. But to us, it's just another fucking fight, similar to Khan and Canelo. Not in terms of style, but in terms of a fucking welterweight moving up 2 weight classes to fight a goddamn middleweight. Anyway, so we're going to have the prediction and breakdown for Triple G and KELL BROOK. I'm not even going to go into how much they weigh because I really don't give a fuck. I don't care about height and reach. I don't care about records. I think I know it by heart. KELL BROOK is what, 36-0 with 25 knockouts? That's by heart. That's right off the dome. I think what's his name is what, 34-0 with 32 knockouts? Am I right about that? 35-0, 33?
Oh, man. Somewhere up there. Somewhere in the 30s.
It don't even matter. It don't even matter. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to go to my man Sess first.
Yes, sir.
What you think of this fight, man? Matter of fact, hold up. Break down the fight. We already know what everybody thinks. We're going to do the same shit we did with the Kovalev Pascal part 2. I said, what the fuck does Pascal need to do not to get knocked the fuck out? Same thing here. What does KELL BROOK need to do to not get stretched?
All right. First off, let me just start by saying I'm not real big on this fight. You know what I'm saying? For the reason that you mentioned earlier, it's a welterweight fighting a middleweight.
Yep.
Like we've said in shows prior to this one, I don't really give a shit about KELL BROOK weighing 176.
Nope.
And 160 this, and I don't care about none of that. He has to. I'll quote Golovkin. Fight night, he got to weigh 160 pounds.
Yep.
So, the day before the fight, he got to weigh 160. So, but to answer that question, 2K, might be a lot of cats that disagree with me, man, on this strategy. But let me start by saying what he doesn't need to do is move around the ring and try getting away from Golovkin. Okay, he doesn't need to go in there with a Willie Monroe type of strategy to where he's trying to use his footwork and get away from Golovkin and backing up from Golovkin. He does not need to do that. That's not the way you fight a puncher. Right. Now, to support that point, check this out. Okay, if I'm a pressure fighter, and I like to come forward and I like to cut the ring off, what plays into my hands? A guy that's moving, a guy that's circling around the ring with his back up again, that plays into my hands. If I'm a pressure fighter, I want you to do that.
Yeah.
So a lot of time when guys say, oh man, he needs to move, stay on his toes, do this and do that, not necessarily. Not necessarily, because Golovkin can cut the ring off very good. And that's something that I definitely like about him, is the fact that he does use pretty good, he uses very good angles when it comes to cutting that ring down, making it real, and making it very small. So Brook does not need to do that. What he does need to do is he needs to try to stay on. And like I said, a lot of people will disagree with this because he's a smaller guy. But he has to try to stay close and smother Golovkin's punches. Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
He does not. He does not need to be at the end of Golovkin's punches. And a lot of guys, because Brook has a very good jab, a lot of people are saying, well, yeah, he needs to box Golovkin. Okay, well, guess what? If he boxes Golovkin, guess where he's at? He needs range as well in order to be able to box Golovkin and use his jab. Okay? So I don't think Brook needs to do that. I think that he needs to stay very close to Golovkin, and he needs to go to the body early.
Yeah.
Whenever I watch a fighter, okay, with Golovkin's skill set and with Golovkin's chin, I primarily look at what does he react to the most. Does he react to headshots? In Golovkin's case, no, he doesn't react to headshots, okay? Does he react to a guy that's moving and moving around the ring? Not necessarily, because it plays into his hands. Gennady Golovkin reacts to body shots.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep.
I have to get this guy's name. I forgot his name, but I heard that he dropped Golovkin in sparring with the body shot. This was years ago. Okay, this was years ago. Now he did say that Golovkin beat the shit out of him for the rest of the session, but he said that he dropped Golovkin with a body shot. Okay, so that's what KELL BROOK needs to do. And I know it's gonna be a lot of people commenting, but believe me, I had that name for you fellas. But that's what KELL BROOK needs to do. Stay close to Golovkin. Okay, go to his fucking body and stay out of his range. To me, the way you stay out of his range without backing up or moving around the ring and trying to, juke and get out the way and do all of this shit, is you got to stay close to him, man. Keep him in the center of the ring. Keep him in the center of the ring. Keep your back off of the ropes. And, Golovkin is another guy, like my man Andre Ward said, European fighter that doesn't have an educated inside game.
Yep.
Go back and look at the Willie Monroe fight. Look at where Golovkin's hands were when Monroe was going to his body. Now, a lot of people, I'm sure we're gonna get a lot of comments that say he was letting Monroe hit him. Yeah, he was letting Monroe hit him.
Exactly.
He was letting Monroe hit him in the head because he didn't want the fucking body shots.
Yes.
His hands were literally directly below his chin because he was trying to block the body shots. Okay. Yep. Now, I'd even argue that no fighter purposely lets themselves get hit, unless they just know a motherfucker can't hurt them for nothing. Monroe was another guy that was feather fisted. Yeah. So, I'm sure that was in the front of Gennady's head when he was fighting Monroe. So so that's primarily what Brook has to do in order for him not to get knocked out. He's gonna have to get his respect very early, okay? If I were him, I would probably come out aggressive. Yeah. I come out aggressive. I go right at him. I try to get in his chest. Okay. Yeah. And the one thing I wouldn't do is I wouldn't have no bullshit ass David Lemieux type of a plan standing right in front of him, and just let him beat on me.
He didn't know any better. That's Lemieux's style. He's an aggressor, so when he was getting outboxed, he didn't know any better.
Exactly. So So that's the one thing that I'll say about Kell Brook is, man, to me, he does have a very good skill set. He's a very good he's a very good boxer. More to that point, he's a very good strategist, and that's what I like about him more than anything. Is when I go back to the Sean Porter fight, that was pure strategy. That was something that they worked on for a 6 or 8 week training camp, however long it was, and they knew, hey, when he charges at you like this, you need to throw the check hook. Okay. Yeah. When he's standing in front of you, pop that jab. Yeah. You know, okay. If he's bouncing on his feet too much, throw the 1-2. You know, be real physical with him, tie him up, lock him up, lean on him.
Right.
Now, you know, of course, Porter's not a Golovkin, but Porter is a very strong fighter. He's a fucking bull when he's in there.
Right.
So that's the thing that I do like about Kell Brook. He's a very good strategist, and he sticks to his game plan. Okay. Right. Even when things aren't just working 100%, he sticks to the game plan. So that's what he has to do with Golovkin. If they have a good game plan, fucking stick to it, man. Yeah. You know he's a big puncher, and my bad, guys. I'm finishing up. You know he's a big puncher. You know he's a very good body puncher, but test that fucking inside.
Yeah.
Get in the inside, and let's see how he like it.
Yeah.
That's all I got to say about that. That's how you don't get knocked out.
See, once again, my man Sess breaks the shit down all the way to the white meat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It really ain't too much more I can say. I got a little bit of criticism on it, but I'm gonna get on it after I pass it to my man Kashad, man. What do you think Kell Brook needs to do to not get knocked the fuck out?
Not take the damn fight. I think I will say that Kell Brook has a better chance at winning this fight than Amir Khan had with Canelo, and that's purely because Gennady is like unproven with like reputable names. You know what I'm saying?
That's a good point.
See him killing people, but we ain't seen him kill nobody.
Right,
you know
right.
So
yeah, that's good.
It's like when Seth, you were like, you know, well, Kell Brook should move because you play right into Gennady's hand as a pressure fighter. I'm gonna tell you the truth, man, and like I show respect to a lot of fighters. You know, I personally know Jermaine Taylor. Like I know a lot of fighters, and I'm telling you, like, and this coming from like Jermaine, people are scared of Gennady. I wouldn't say he's a pressure fighter. I don't think he's a pressure fighter.
Yeah.
Like, I think Gennady is very technically sound.
Yes.
But I think like using what Roy Jones said about Floyd is like he brings certain tools to the fight. Like I'm gonna run a few names like Marco Antonio Rubio. I mean, Mexican Style was supposed to promote their fight, but Marco Antonio Rubio, the only person of note he had truly stopped was who?
David Lemieux.
David Lemieux.
Yep.
So why, like if Marco Antonio Rubio, a man who laid down for Gennady, this man got up at the count of 10 like he was like God brought him back or something. The fight, I'm like, get out of here, bro. You quit. Come on, now. Like we knew at 7 you wasn't getting up.
Yeah.
So, but if you go look at his fights, I agree with you, Seth, when you say that you gotta test that body. I was gonna say that. You gotta test that body, but you also just can't be a punk. I don't understand how you can spar and train and run and wake up and diet and drink water, not drink no alcohol, not do nothing, and be scared. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not fighting Marvin Hagler. This man hasn't proved himself to be Marvin Hagler.
Absolutely.
He hasn't proved himself to be Ray Robinson. I don't understand why people went in there scared. Like, if you go back to the Curtis Stevens fight, and Curtis Stevens is another fighter that, you know, I respect. You know, I think boxing need those, you know, just hood.
Punch
a nigga. Yeah. So, Curtis Stevens, I feel like did much better in that fight than he gets credit for, because the only time he didn't look good was when he was scared. But when you could see that dude wasn't scared, you can Google it. You can see pictures of Gennady catching that work, eyes wide open, just looking like, you know what I'm saying? Or getting hit in the ribs. And I'm not saying that Gennady didn't, you know, fuck Curtis Stevens up, because that's a different
That's like what happened.
But it's like, I'm saying, like, when Curtis Stevens realized that, like, man, this dude, you know, put his trunks on the same way I put mine on, you know, we got the same, you know, glove material, I can hurt this dude. It made the fight interesting.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what type of fighter Gennady Golovkin is until I see him, you know, have to change a game plan. Now, another thing I'm gonna, you know, scrutinize about the Kell Brook Sean Porter reference you made, and this is before I give my prediction. Sean Porter ain't never made an adjustment in his life.
Nope.
As long as his dad is his trainer, it's never going to change. So the check left hook, the jab 1-2, and I mean, you hear Kenny and Sean complain about holding, but like you initiating the hold and jumping in like that, fam. Like that's why no referee is admonishing the other fighter, because you jumping in like a ram and you kind of just ramming them. Like I believe Kell Brook had a real big cut on his eye for that fight.
Yeah, he did. So, I think it was
It was a headbutt, and it's purely trying to protect yourself. So I can't say Kell Brook sticks to a game plan because, you know, I watched a few of y'all videos, man. Carson Jones did get that man some trouble.
He did. Yep.
Man.
And Sean Porter didn't, because Sean Porter doesn't change. You know, he's just plan A, you know. So it wasn't like Kell Brook had to do much to beat Sean Porter. And I mean, I think I argue with a few guys in some communities. Like, I just don't feel like that fight was close at all. Like, it was very boring because, I mean, you didn't try anything different. And honestly, he almost laid Sean Porter down, I think, in like round 9, but he didn't. So, but I, like, you know, back to how not to get, you know, knocked the fuck out. I think Kell Brook needs to jump on him. He has to land, I won't say he needs to, he has to land the first 1-2 of the fight. He cannot let Gennady beat him to a 1-2 combination.
Should that be a 1-2 to the body? Or
no, he did that chin. Like, and I'm not saying it's gone. It may not even just, you know, give him the effect that he thought it was going to do, but he just needs to mentally show Gennady that I'm in this fight.
Right.
Like the Willie Monroe fight, Willie, you know, was busy being the worm. You know, it's a family thing. So he was like moving around, using lateral movement, being a slick southpaw. But when he realized that, you know, that movement isn't really working out for me, he just kind of bit down and punched him. And like Seth said, one of those body shots kind of got to him. Now, Gennady has a very good poker face. But that body shot, it had to get to him, because don't no man eat leather just to eat. You know what I'm saying? Like, you never let a man just hit you in the face like Willie Monroe got him. And, you know, people say Willie Monroe's feather-fisted. I think he has the Timothy Bradley syndrome, in that they work out and they get bulky and they don't use their legs with their punches. Like, they don't sit down and punches. They kind of just arm punch everything. So it's like, if you're not in the right place, or it's not just torqued just right, it's not going to hurt. Like, I was shocked that, you know, Timothy Bradley was able to stop Brandon Rios, even though he was out of shape. It's because dude cannot punch. It's like, I was just shocked. So I think if Kell Brook lands the first 1-2 on that chin and shows Gennady that he's serious, I think he can make it to about round 8, man. But he's still gonna catch some hurt. I think he can make it to about round 8. And I really think this is like the battle of the bitch niggas between him and Amir Khan. Because when you think about it, when you really, really think about it, like Amir Khan, after getting slept, said, "Oh, but I was up on 6 rounds. I won." It was like, what are you talking about, man? Like, it don't matter. That's like winning 11 rounds and getting knocked out. Like, don't nobody give who's the buddy Chavez knocked out in that fight the last.
Meldrick Taylor.
Yeah, nobody gives Meldrick Taylor props for whooping Chavez ass 11 rounds. Like, nobody cares. Like, because he got knocked out. But I really think that Kell Brook and Amir Khan are going to compare these ass whoopings. And the person that showed the most in his ass whooping is going to be the A side in the battle of the bitch niggas in the UK. That's what I think. So you
think they might possibly fight after Kell Brook loses this fight? That's a good point. I didn't even think about that.
I think Amir Khan's gonna fight a warm up, and then he's gonna pull the A side. You know, hey, you stepped up in competition, you got knocked the fuck out, man. Like, hey, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like he's gonna do that, and I still think Kell Brook will sleep Amir Khan. You know what I'm saying?
But
Yeah,
see, Brook is saying he can't go,
so.
he probably won't go back down to 147.
That's because he got Errol Spence problem.
Exactly.
I promise if Jesse Vargas was his mandatory, or that Panamara dude was still his mandatory, he wouldn't be saying that.
Yeah.
But if you pay attention to it, Amir Khan was saying the same thing when he went to Canelo weight. Oh yeah, 154 is more natural for me. It's, you know, I like this here. And then as soon as you got that ass knocked out, man, he was so big on that night. Going back down to 147. So I think KELL BROOK doesn't have that built-in excuse because he got another monster waiting for him at 147. And so, I mean, who wants to get knocked out twice in a row like that? So, the IBF dirty for letting him keep that belt, though, man. They want to see him get that ass whooped.
They're campaigning on that shit like, hey, man, shit, let him keep his belt because when he come back down, we get to see him get fucked up again. That's messed up, man. Nah, really nothing much I could say. Kashad pretty much took what I was going to say about Seth's assessment, and that was just the Sean Porter point. Everything else Seth said, I 100% agree with. I 100% agree with Kashad. I mean, y'all niggas broke it down for me. I gotta say shit. You know what I mean? The only thing I would say is that while I do agree with the assessment that he needs to get on the inside, that's exactly like I said before in the other video, and I've said in other videos. I'll repeat myself again for the 50th time. Triple G needs mid-range distance. The best way to beat a fighter that needs mid-range distance is to smother his punches by putting your head in their chest and getting on the inside. Now, the issue I have with that is, number one, I think, Sesh, you already touched it. KELL BROOK is smaller. I don't give a fuck about him weighing 176. I don't give a fuck about him weighing 167. He's smaller, okay? Actually, 30 days out at 176, the nigga spent 30 days trying to get down the weight. Okay, he didn't work on his durability. He ain't work on his technical, his technical makeup in the ring. He didn't work on his IQ. He didn't work. I mean, motherfucker was trying not to eat so much because he already weighed 176. He spent the last 30 days trying to get down to 160. That is bad fucking news, people. That's bad news. So, with that said, and like I said, Triple G. In the other video I did, he said, doesn't matter because KELL BROOK still got to weigh 160 at the weigh-in, all right? So that means he's going to drain himself to get to 160, even though he's naturally a 147 guy, right? He's still got to drain himself to get to 160. He's going to be too small to try to stay on the inside against the bigger fighter. Third, I think I said two, but fuck it. Third, you know what I'm saying? my man has no sustainable body game, dude. He does not go to the body for a sustained amount of time. KELL BROOK may touch it a little bit, but then he's back up top again. That's what he does, man. For a guy, I really believe a guy who beats Gennady Golovkin has a sustained body attack. Now, I'm not saying he beats Gennady Golovkin, so I don't want y'all, you dumb motherfuckers on YouTube. Hey, what the fuck, man? I don't want y'all doing this shit. All I'm saying is a guy like Errol Spence's sustained body attack is something that would give Triple G problems. Okay? So, that's all I got. Y'all got anything y'all want to add?
Hey, yeah, quick. We didn't talk about this in the last video. I want to talk about Gennady and this IV he needed after weighing 160.
Oh yeah.
The weight class he been campaigning in for years now. You know, the weight class he's aiming to be undisputed in. You know, that's a little telling that you needed an IV.
Yeah.
And some Campbell soup. That's what they said. But
Damn.
That's a little telling. And maybe that's why he can't go down the Canelo weight, or maybe that's why he wasn't willing to budge. Yeah. But that's not a good sign for the next few fights. I mean, it may be prompt, say he doesn't look good in this fight. First of all, if Gennady loses this fight, I will come back to the show, say, I was wrong.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to call Gennady everything that every Gennady hater has ever called him. Like, I don't consider myself a Gennady hater. I just want to see him do something. But if he loses this fight, dehydrated or not, it's your fault. This dude, fat dude, spending 30 days trying to get down to 160. You was 163, smiling and shit in your picture, and now you 160 on the scale and finna die. You know what I'm saying? So she took your ass to 168 where Andre was there and got that scalp. That's about
it.
He wasn't gonna do that, bro. That's free money. That's free money.
I think he should have, man. I think that's a fight where if he showed a really, really, really good showing of himself, he could have been like a Carl Froch. Like Carl Froch got whooped. He got done up pretty bad by Dre. And people still respect Carl Froch. Like, it's just like,
exactly.
Yeah, man, he beat Jermaine Taylor, though. He did that.
But you know what? Damn. That's a good point, Kashad. But, damn, you really can't say that about Gennady. You know what I mean? Like, he don't have a name to reference. You know what I'm saying?
That's fucked up, man.
That would have fucked him up, you know?
So he would have been, niggas would have been like, I mean, but he beat Dominic Wade, though.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but to touch on what Kashad said, man, hey, if that's true, man, I definitely agree with you, man. To me, that's really not a good sign. I mean, Gennady is a guy that they say is a small middleweight, like we talked about off the show. They keep on talking about how small of a middleweight he is, how he's, always pretty much in shape, and all these other things. So just the fact that he would have needed an IV, as much as Abel Sanchez makes about, his weight and, he can go to 54 and fight whoever he wants and, he'll stop anybody from 54 to 68. Well, I mean, that something like that would make me think different. I mean, shit, if he's needing an IV to make 60, I mean, or if he's needing an IV after he makes 60, what the fuck is he gonna need if he would have made 54?
Man,
I mean, you might as well have a stretcher and everything.
See, again, if Kashad is absolutely right about this news, man, bruh, again, Abel, shut the fuck up, dog.
Man, please.
Because again, he has came out and I already played the clip in the beginning of the video. He has come out. The nigga said again, but he put a twist on it. Last time he was like, we'll fight anybody from 154 to 168. Now it's nobody will last 12 rounds from 154 to 168.
Yeah,
bruh,
yeah.
What you should be saying is if the nigga got to take IVs, you should be saying nobody will last from 160 to 180.
Yeah, for real.
You know what I'm saying? Don't mention 154 if man.
Yeah, man. I just checked like Bleacher Report and ESPN, man. Like Steve Kim, even though I don't really like that dude or his bias reporting, he be on Golovkin nuts so much. I don't know why he would lie about him needing IV.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
yep.
I mean,
that's bad.
Yeah. You know what? If with that being the case, man, the fight may actually be somewhat competitive if Brook can get Gennady past 6 rounds. If he can get Gennady past 6 rounds, and he's been touching Gennady's body, the fight could be competitive.
Yeah.
Like I said, to me, that's just, I don't think that's a good sign.
Right,
right. Like I said, and for all the viewers, like I said earlier, when your trainer is putting this information out there, that's not a good sign. When he's talking about your weight and what you can do with your weight and how you're a small guy at middleweight and all these other things, to me, that's just not a good sign.
I agree 100%. All right, fellas, we're going to go ahead and conclude this segment right here. YouTube, let us know what you think of this fight. Do you think Kell Brook wins by knockout? I'm just fucking around. Do you think Kell Brook wins? Or do you think Triple G is going to sleep him and stretch him and starch him, all sorts of different words that we use to mean knockout?
Damn.
All right. Do what you do in the comment section would be real. This is real talk for real fans. 1.